What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller. Laura Bailey is here to talk about being Fetch in Infamous First Light, and Rob Schamberger is here to talk about making a whole bunch of WWE portraits. But first, we have so much news this week we can't contain ourselves. This is Up at Noon. Producer Nick Scarpino.
I never get to shake your hand, so I'm excited to do that.
You what now?
We don't ever shake hands. I just wanted to be like all your other cool guests.
Because we hug. Everybody get in here.
There we go.
Get in here. It's the Up at Noon hug. That's what we do.
I went straight for Brian's.
What was that? What did you do
I
there?
was trying to get everybody at the same time. You know what's weird? I never won at sports, so I don't have I don't know how to do that. Like
a celebration?
I don't have a celebration pose. Like every video game character has one. Yeah, why don't I never got to do that.
Do you want to crowd surf right now? Just jump into the crowd?
The waiting pool's a little low to
Our first story of the week, The Walking Dead, the game season 2 is wrapping up with episode 5. No going back, no spoilers, don't worry. The question I have for you, young gentlemen here, well, young gentlemen and Nick, how long are zombies going to be a thing? This is, I fight this uphill battle, I feel, all the time, where zombies have gotten popular. I love them. I consume all the zombie content I can, and then there's the haters. Zombies are stupid. They're about to burn out. They're just like vampires.
I mean, I think they're always going to be a thing, right? I think they win every year because every couple of years somebody's like, hey guys, f*** zombies. We got a new thing. Witches. And we're like, all right, let's try out witches for 6 months. And 6 months later, we're like, get the f*** out of here, witches.
Right. Then we go back to zombies.
Yeah, we go back to zombies. We always go back to zombies.
I think zombies are always there on their steady climb of popularity. Right then they hit big, obviously, with The Walking Dead 28 Days Later. There was this whole thing going on, it felt like, where there was a zombie movement.
Yep.
And now we're still here, and it's still going. Season 3 has already been announced for the Telltale Games.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I'm with Brian. I don't think they're ever going to go away. And I think the reason is, back in like the 70s and 80s when those genres were sort of cult classic, not a lot of people were going to see them. It's different now. Like now they're actually in the mainstream. It's largely, I think, because of comic books. Comic books are, all of us have grown up with comic books. We're now adults. We now make money. We now choose to go and watch these things because that's where our interests lie. And I think that's always going to be the case. I think now that once they're popular, they're always going to be popular because now the market's saturated with it. And
so you don't think there's going to be a video game kind of crash, right, where zombies are going to disappear?
I don't think so. I think what Brian said is true. I think what we'll see is zombies kind of go out of vogue for a while, and then vampires will come back in, and then once vampires are saturated, a new Harry Potter movie will come out, and we'll all be back into witchcraft and wizardry. That's what's going to happen.
Did anyone really
Did anyone watch the Harry Potter
sounds like
movie?
And think they were witches. I mean, I know it's magic and stuff, but I always think bad people with the witches.
I have a JV Quidditch
I know.
jacket
The question wasn't, are people watching Harry Potter? Did they interpret them to be witches? Clap if you thought they were like witches.
No one thought they were witches. Yeah.
They're witches and wizards.
Okay.
Wizards are different.
Hogwarts is called the School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Hogwarts. It says Hogwarts, and then underneath in the letters.
I don't think there's a sign, is there? I don't think there's a sign.
No, I don't think so. But no, I mean there are. I mean magical spells, things like that.
Sure.
Which Harry Potter is a little different because it does incorporate all those things too. It's got ghosts. I think it has some references to like Walking Dead, and then also vampires.
Like the Kirkman book?
Yeah, it's Kirkman. Kirkman's actually in the second movie.
Oh wow!
If you look in the back, he's Slytherin. He's just just chilling there eating a bowl of porridge, just trying to plot someone's demise.
Do you think there'll be a season 4 of The Walking Dead, the game?
Yeah,
How's it
sure.
selling? How's it selling?
Really well.
Yeah, that'll be a season 4.
All right then. I want it to keep going. I believe in The Walking Dead. I've said it before.
It'll
You
be
want
fine.
it to be zombies forever.
Exactly. I don't want it to
Yeah.
stop. I don't need any more witches and wizards or your war movies.
I'm with you on all that stuff. F*** all those things.
Speaking of things I f***ing hate, I don't like exercise, ladies and gentlemen. Spoilers. I know. Team Fat. And The Rock, professional wrestler, now movie star, of course. He's been on this world tour for the Hercules movie, right? So he's Instagramming all these different things, him getting off a plane looking all badass in a suit. But then he also always Instagrams a photo of his hotel room, right? And every time in his hotel room, he has this giant elliptical machine called Precor. It's 338 pounds. I looked it up.
Yeah.
It costs about $8,000, $7,500, right?
Sure.
I assume he owns one. He took it from like Berlin to like Mexico.
Yeah.
Like
Why?
to work out because he's The Rock. When you look like you're sculpted from clay, I guess you have to keep going.
You can miss a few days.
But all he's doing
No
is
one's going to
traveling.
be like, hey man, you're really f***ing slipping there. The
Hey, your
Rock.
pecs don't look as big as they used to. My question is though, why? What? Who's the fucking poor guy who's got to carry this 338-pound machine around?
You mean who's the poor guy who gets to carry the thing? Dude, I would do that for The Rock. Are you kidding me? Some
What?
Rock. He's one of the biggest stars on the planet right now. Just being able to work for him or carry something around for him. If I was like younger and didn't have my back, if I didn't have my back and knees and shoulder injuries from all the sports that I used to play.
All the shadow boxing.
All the shadow boxing. Those years, those days and days of shadow boxing.
Yeah.
I want to see a version of Entourage that's just The Rock and the 5 dudes that have to carry that thing.
That's my thing. Imagine the pitiful existence for these poor, what do you call it, assistants? That they land, they get off the private jet with The Rock. Maybe they don't even take the private jet, but they take a different jet with The Rock. Then they get this goddamn monstrosity elliptical machine. They take it to some poor dope's hotel thing. They have to put down all these towels because The Rock's up there and he's just pouring sweat. All the Instagram, it looks like he's about to Dexter someone on this elliptical machine because there's just shit spread out all underneath.
I bet you the elliptical like rides first class and the Entourage guys are like fucking elliptical machine.
Yeah, that's my question. How do they even get it there? He's got to have multiple ones in multiple countries that they just ship. I mean, it would be silly to put it on a plane. I guess he can though.
But he's got to go places.
Yeah.
I mean, in my mind, he's ordering from Pre-Core?
Pre-Core. He might
Protractors?
But you said it has the same name on it every single time, right? So it's
he calls it Bertha. He hashtags some of the photos Bertha.
Oh, he named it? Yeah. It's definitely riding first class then. Probably wears a hat and a wig and everything.
Final topic of the week. Big win for Oakland. You can finally play pinball in Oakland.
Oh, I thought this was going to... I thought that was a sports thing.
I know better than to bring a sports thing to this table. After 80 years, pinball is finally legal in Oakland.
Just in time.
This is not made up. Pinball is considered a form of gambling because there's skills and you put money in points and jackpots and stuff. So for 80 years, you could not play pinball in Oakland. It was illegal.
But wait, you can't. The machine never gives you money back.
I guess in like
you always lose it.
In 1920 or 30, they had a different definition of gambling.
If there was like a game that was a game.
I think it was a game of chance.
Money.
If there was like a game of skill involved with the chance, because once they put I watched a documentary once about that.
So that's literally everything.
Right. That's why
anything
Oakland
you
sucks.
buy with money, there's a chance could kill you.
Right. That's the gamble.
So that means technically everything is gambling, so everything should be illegal.
First off, Ryan, I'll ask you this question.
Uh-huh.
You lived in Oakland.
Yeah.
Does it surprise you that they're so stupid?
I think it's kind of it's a little low in their priorities.
Yeah.
I would make murder illegal first.
True. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on in
Like
Oakland.
I don't know if you ever watched the news about Oakland, but no one's ever like, oh man, a pinball machine killed 4 people this weekend.
I mean, Oakland's always had really sort of a hard go of it, right? Like every time you hear a lot of bad things happen, they tend to happen. I mean, a lot of bad things happen in Oakland, and they make the news a lot. So maybe this was just an easy win for the mayor. They're like, you know what? What's a weird thing that I can get just knock out of the park?
Bring back pinball.
Pinball.
Yeah.
Everyone loves pinball.
Of course.
That's such a Gotham City thing to do, though.
Greg, yes.
This is what I try to explain this to my friends when they'll ask, oh, how often do you go to Oakland? I'm like, never go to Oakland. Oakland's Gotham City. The mayor has literally been on the news before asking the guardian angels to come to town and patrol the streets. That is literally the equivalent of asking for Batman.
Yeah, that's crazy. And pinball is like if the mayor was just like, hey, so I know the Scarecrow, the Penguin, and the Joker took over the whole city, but there's a big penny at the museum.
Well, I think we can all agree that pinball is a game. Speaking of games, Greg Way, my next guest has a new game out right now called Infamous First Light. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Fetch herself, Laura Bailey. Bailey, how are you? Don't wave, shake my hand. Oh, now we're just waving at each other.
Yeah,
okay.
it's happening.
Well, that got awkward.
Yeah.
That is the fastest
awkward.
start to awkward it's ever been on Up at Noon, and I've had some awkward interviews.
That's right.
Laura Bailey, here's what I want to know.
Oh, well, all right.
You've been in this voice acting business a long time.
I have.
You've been doing this a long, long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
So long.
Yeah. What's it like right now having your face plastered everywhere for Infamous First Light? Every cover on IGN's your face. It's not even like, oh, this character I play is up there. It's not like Persona 4 Golden Rize. It's you. It is you.
It is. It is my face. It's a little tweaked.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I have like a different chin, I think.
Yeah.
And purple hair.
Yeah. Well,
which now
okay.
I know. I think I would look good with purple hair. I almost dyed it for the show.
Why didn't you?
I don't know.
Seems like no dedication to the show or the craft or the game.
Jeez, now I feel awkward again.
Do you think the game would have sold better if you dyed your hair?
No.
Okay. Good answer. All right, that's really good. So dial it back a bit with me and go down the infamous First Light rabbit hole of how this all came to be. So when, I guess you tried out for infamous Second Son, correct?
I did.
At the point, did you know that they were already talking about, well, we're going to do this with Fetch and that, blah, blah, blah?
Oh, no.
No?
No. When I first auditioned, I just, I saw the character art, which was completely different.
Sure.
At
Well,
the
it didn't
time.
look like your face yet.
It didn't look like my face.
If you would have walked in and it was your face, you'd be like,
I got this.
Yeah.
No, it was like she was, should I say what she looked like?
Yeah.
All right. She was little and she was little.
You're hulking, because you're a hulking human being.
But she was blonde and had like this cute little pixie cut, and she had like makeup across her eyes that looked really, and she was in this really big, huge like parka, and she was like kind of frail looking and like hunched in on herself, and she just looked so interesting and amazing. And so when I went into the audition, there was actually a girl that, I don't know if she just naturally looked like that or if she kind of dressed for the part. Because it was motion capture audition, so a lot of times you'll get like on-camera people coming to audition as well as voiceover people.
Sure.
And a lot of the on-camera people are used to dressing for the part, so, she really looked like the character. And I was like, oh, she's going to get it. She's amazing. And so I was already like, whatever.
No chance at this.
Yeah.
I'll just go out there and half-ass
But
it.
then I auditioned with Troy, and,
Yeah. Oh, Troy Baker.
Yeah, he was
I've
already
heard of him.
cast as Delson when
Right.
I went in, so I auditioned with him.
So,
which lucked out, yeah.
Now, if we're already on this, let's just talk about it. I brought it up before, of course, but the nepotism at Sucker Punch. Troy Baker's already cast. Then, by happenstance, you get cast.
Yeah.
Oh, and then by happenstance, Travis gets cast.
I think,
your
was cast.
husband, the best friend of Troy Baker, they're best men in crap.
He was actually, I think Travis was cast first.
So then he's
And
like,
then-
hey, Nate Fox and Sucker
Hey.
Punch. My wife needs a job too. It's gonna be
No.
hard coming up to Seattle without her.
Actually-
You know what I'm saying, bro?
No, nobody at Sucker Punch knew we were married at
Yeah?
the time. We didn't like tell anyone. And I think maybe Nate knew, but he didn't tell anyone at Sucker Punch because he didn't want them to know, because people might not want, a married couple to work
Right, 'cause
together.
you
It could
bring
be
all that
weird.
stuff in, the
And
baggage.
there's like this relationship with Delson, and like that could be awkward on set. And so,
Was it awkward on set?
it was so awkward.
Because we're not going to spoil First Light. I've already mentioned that in the intro, of course. But what I need to tell you right now is the fact that, in Second Son, you guys bone.
Wait, well. Whoa.
No, I watched it, and it's very clear that you guys.
Can you say that on this show?
They bleep it when you say it.
No.
Yeah. But they don't
Well,
show
we don't
that.
know. We
They
didn't
don't
have to
show
film that.
But
God, how
you
awkward
jump-
would that be in a motion
You do
capture
jump
suit?
on top of Troy Delson
Right.
and make out a bit.
Right. Travis likes to say I climbed him like the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. Well, that's a glimpse into your bedroom. But no, but there you're.
Yeah,
in the, you're in
so
the,
awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You've
like
known him for a while.
Well, yeah, he's like my brother. I've known him for almost as long as I've been voice acting.
Okay. Which is
We
a long
started.
time.
My very first video game. No, that's a lie. His very first video game was with me, Blood Rain,
Oh,
and he was
Blood
my
Rain.
like sidekick character in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this. How
Crazy.
Small world.
Oh, what a
Nepotism.
cycle.
It's all about who you know.
Yeah. Well, isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's really weird.
I know.
A little too weird. And then again, to spoil a little bit of First Light, then by happenstance, Ashley Johnson.
That's
is
not
this one.
happenstance. That's because we were like, Ashley's amazing and cool. You need to cast Ashley. And they were like, we can work with Ashley. And we're like, yeah, you can. So the day we were recording Jenny, they were like, we need a Jenny. And I was like, can I call Ashley? They're like, call Ashley. She came in within like an hour of needing a Jenny, and she came in and recorded it, knocked it out of the park because she's amazing.
Like anytime I try to get Ashley Johnson on up at noon, it's always like, I gotta check my schedule, I'm really busy. But
Right.
You call, I'll come work. Oh, I'll be there in an hour.
Well, we're besties. What do you expect?
Yeah, okay. So then, Sucker Punch gets you here. Nepotism gets you here. Second Son comes out. Was it before it released or after that they're like, hey, we want to talk about this DLC we're thinking about? Or
That was
standalone?
after it was released. They, I don't know if it was like almost right after, but they just, contacted me and said, hey, guess what we're doing? And I was like, no way! So I came in and did it.
Were you surprised by the way fans latched onto Fetch? Like, everyone who I think played that game loved Fetch.
Oh. Yeah.
You're allowed to be vocal.
yeah,
I think I
be
scared them
vocal.
into being too quiet this time.
Yeah, I guess it did surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's a pretty awesome character, though. I mean, I dug her right away before I was even cast as her. I really, really wanted to be her, so
Sure.
I guess it makes sense.
Okay. She eats a lot of chowder.
Yeah.
Putting that out there.
Yeah.
It's a deep cut on infamous lore that apparently the audience didn't follow me down. It's what she does. She goes the Olaf sign. She survives on chowder. And
What are you talking about?
When you're in Second Son and you
I
go to her
play
little,
her, I don't even know
You go to
that.
her little lair and there's all these chowder cups stacked up on the side.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's gross. Like not because chowder is gross, but just soup for food
That
all
much
the
chowder.
time.
No, that much chowder. That's gross.
Yeah.
That's a
Not
lot.
Not a fan of that. But
No, that would mess
she
up your
kinda-
system.
Exactly. Thank you. You're with me. Diarrhea. That's all it would be. You don't want to be a
And she doesn't have a house. Where does she go?
Oh,
no.
There's a lot of water.
That's true.
It's Seattle. They're filthy people.
You know.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. First Light though. Yeah. So how long? I mean, what's the? I guess how comparable to Second Son is it? Was it? It comes along after the fact. Is it you have to go up there, you get back in the ping pong ball suit, you're at it for a few weeks, just a week. I mean,
just
it's
about a week of
okay.
recording on it, yeah.
Okay. Do you like that better? I mean, having a shorter
No.
jump and go. No. Okay.
No. It's fun to stick with a character for a long time.
Yeah.
And there was so much more. I was like, oh, are we going to shoot this scene? Are we going to shoot this scene? And like, mocap takes a really long time to get, and we want it to be fast. So there was a lot that, we filmed the core scenes.
Sure. And the rest they just animate?
Yeah.
Just all googly, just all wobbly.
They're really talented.
They are. They do a good job up there. I should pimp right now, of course, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to do a Podcast Beyond spoiler conversation today that'll be up at noon, actually, so it's a time paradox like
that's
Metal
crazy.
Gear. But it doesn't matter. You can go there, and that's where we'll spoil the whole game, but now we're going to move on so that we don't spoil
We're not going
First
to spoil
Light.
anything for you.
Because First Light's awesome. You should go play it right
When
now.
is this going to air?
This goes live Monday. So the game's out. People can go buy it right now.
Whoa.
You have no excuse
Go
not to
buy
buy
it and play it.
Yeah, there you
And
go. One
let us
person
know what
is
you think.
down for that. No, you don't.
Woo.
So here's what I want to know then. If people only know you as Fetch, what do you feel your other most famous voice acting role is? Because again, you do everything.
There's a lot.
Yes, run me through some of it.
You were like the path.
Well, no, just some
Some
what
of
you
it?
yeah. What do you think your most famous? Yeah, I already said.
I don't know.
Rize.
You said Rize.
Rize's
Rize's got a really good following.
Yeah,
like,
people
fans
love
are
her.
Strong.
Like love her.
It's the orange bikini.
yeah, of course. That's what does
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Jaina Proudmoore in World of Warcraft.
Nice.
That's
nice,
pretty
nice.
great.
Yeah.
Chun-Li.
I've heard
That's
of her.
pretty
I've
cool.
heard of her. Yeah.
I don't know. Help me out.
Maka.
Maka and Soul Eater.
Yeah.
I started in anime. Yeah, Sarah, Final Fantasy. Toru Honda.
All right, so here's the question then. It's been a rough couple of weeks in the nerdy video game industry
Yeah.
in terms of females in gaming, feminism, the girl gamer, all these quotes and stuff.
Right.
What I want to know from your side, are you seeing any kind of change from the roles you're getting? People always talk about, to explain to somebody who maybe is just, my mom, who's just tuning in, who has no idea what I'm talking about, right? Like, people always talk about the female character being, minimalized in video games, right?
Yeah,
it's all about this
decoration.
this male protagonist,
Right.
yeah, decoration, and a non-playable character. Are you seing things change, or is it status quo?
No, it's definitely changing. I think that's a wonderful thing. I think more and more people are aware of the fact that, it's not just girl gamers that want to play as girls, it's people want to experience different characters, And whatever character protagonist is relevant to that story, it makes sense, And I am definitely seeing a change in the characters that I'm being offered and that I'm seeing come up through, the sides that are coming through auditions and everything.
Sure.
It's a wonderful thing to see characters like Fetch just, get the play time and the screen time that they're getting and projects that I'm not really allowed to talk about just yet. But
you can break news if you want.
wouldn't that be great? But yeah, they're really great, and I think it's a really big transitioning period.
Okay, great. Well, Infamous First Light's out right now.
It is. You should download it.
You should. If you're in the Europe, you can buy the disc.
In the Europe?
Yeah.
I wish I was in the Europe because I want the disc.
We have people in the Europe. They could probably buy it for you
They
and
should
send it to
send
you.
it over here.
Sure.
All right.
Send it to IGN.
And then send it to me.
625 2nd Street, 4th floor, San Francisco, California.
I'll give you my address separately.
Right, yeah. Well, we're not gonna put that out on the internet. That'd be trouble.
That'd be crazy.
You don't want that kind of
No.
stuff out there.
Not really.
Laura, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
by.
you.
Infamous First Light, you paint a whole bunch of stuff with the neon colors. So
Yes.
we're going this. Now we're going to interview WWE painter Rob Schamberger.
I've got
How are you, sir?
Doing great.
Thanks for
having me
coming. So you're here because you paint portraits of WWE superstars.
on. I do.
Why?
I realized no one else was doing it. That's the big
Honey,
part.
I got the market cornered.
Everyone that was doing wrestling art was either making fun of it or it was like hipster ironic type stuff.
Sure.
And I love wrestling. I know a lot of other people agree that it's totally awesome. And I want
gonna
art
say-
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, how do you describe your stuff then? I mean, it's not hipster.
Great.
It's great. Put it as a box quote on your website. No. So I mean, it's realistic portraits. Is that the idea?
Realistic, but with background in comic books and also a love of street art, like bringing a lot of that energy into it. I don't want it just to look like Hulk Hogan. I want it to feel like Hulk Hogan.
Right. The thing, looking at your website, looking at some stuff, because I mean, it's not even like he's not just some crazy guy just making paintings. Like they put him up on the auction site on WWE. Like
Yes.
you're like in with WWE.
I am.
Have you met Vince McMahon?
I have walked by Vince
Holy
McMahon.
shit, he's walked by Vince McMahon. Are you kidding me? What was that like?
Oh, it's intimidating.
Yeah.
It was magical though. Like I'm sure that there was like music playing somewhere when we just made eye contact.
Yeah. I'd be afraid he'd fire you, and you don't even work for him technically.
But I hope it would be like Mr. McMahon firing me.
Oh, yeah.
You're fired. Yeah.
Wrestling's fun. Everyone should like. No, what I like about the art, like what you're talking about, is like it's not just like a portrait like them, like leaning on a nice Shea lounge, right? Or this, yeah. It's like you've got explosive color behind them, and you're doing different things. The one I really dig is the Sting one that's up on your website,
Oh, thanks.
where it's like all these different versions of Sting, all pieced together to make like one, all the different faces.
Yeah, ones like that are a lot of fun, or like with Ultimate Warrior, where there's all the different appearances they've had that you can really play off of.
Now, for Ultimate Warrior, there's a even more personal connection there, right?
Yeah, I painted his jacket that he wore on his final appearance on Monday Night Raw. Hand painted it for him. Actually got to watch WrestleMania from his box, which was phenomenal. Yeah.
What is all of that like? Let alone the fact that he passes away tragically the next day.
Yeah, it was so surreal. Or like I never got to actually meet him in person. We talked on the phone a lot. He told me that he watched my video series quite a bit and would daydream about painting in the studio with me. And I just pictured like full 1991 Ultimate Warrior.
You're trying to
rocket fuel. Yeah.
You're trying to paint. He's shaking the easel and he's just going crazy.
I could only hope. Yeah.
So, your career to this point, like dial it back a little bit. You were working. You've done stuff with Image Comics. Like you're not just this painter. How did you? What? So you're just sitting around and like nobody's painting WWE. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And then at what point did WWE go, hey, you're good at painting WWE?
It was about 2 years in.
Okay.
I was putting together a charity show, and we started talking about that, and then it just expanded from there to, they sell my stuff on shop, at auction. I'll be at SummerSlam painting, where Stone Cold's threatened to give me a stunner if I don't do a good job of his portrait.
Is that alarming?
Well, it's like a flip of the coin. Do I do a bad portrait so I can get that story?
Just to get stunned?
Yeah.
Do a total fake one, and then what I mean?
I feel like a stick figure with like middle fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So for like at SummerSlam when you're painting there, are you like just painting in like a glass case? Or are people posing for you? Are you using photos?
Working from a photograph for
Okay.
it, yeah. I'll be set up right outside where they're doing all those panels and everything. And
Yeah.
people can come and look at how great I am.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Just like they're doing now and up at noon. Do you ever look for help? Are you ever looking for like apprentices?
I want to get there. Are you offering?
Yeah, I am. I don't know if you know this. I have a co-host on Up at Noon. You just saw him on the News We Care About called Brian Altano. Brian Altano and I have gone through and made some portraits.
See these.
We want to see if we're good enough. What you can critique us.
Okay.
So we're going to start with one of Brian's. He did the Macho Man.
Okay, fantastic.
This is the Macho Man. Now, is this too hipstery?
No, I think that it's appropriate enough. Great use of positive and negative space.
Okay.
The minimalism really expresses the vibrancy of Macho Man effectively.
Sure. Are you at all alarmed that he gave the Macho Man breasts?
It could be the Macho Ma'am.
Yeah, you should spin some stuff. I like what you're doing. All right, next up is mine. I only did one.
Okay.
Because I nailed them the first try, of course.
Yeah.
I did this Jericho painting.
Oh.
Now, have you noticed, this is for the wrestling fans, obviously, not for the unwashed masses out there. This would be him entering at a Raw,
Yeah.
maybe a SmackDown.
It actually looks almost exactly like one I just did. Are
you accusing me of
no,
ripping you off?
I'm thinking is this mine?
No, sadly, no. I did this with Sharpies instead of paint.
Okay.
You probably can't tell.
No.
Yeah, it's that good.
It's
This will be available on IGN auction soon.
Yeah.
And Brian's final one, well, this is Guy Fieri. I don't think Brian understands the WWE all that much.
There's a guy that goes to bars by where I live that looks just like Guy Fieri, and whenever we see him there, I'll go up to patrons and say, "Hey, that's Guy Fieri," just so that guy and his wife get bugged a lot.
That's a bad thing to do. You're being a bad person. Why would you do that to fake Guy Fieri? He doesn't want to. So what's next? Do you only do WWE portraits now? Do you have a real
Primarily.
job? Okay.
But still can do just whatever is interesting to me at the time. Like I think I need to do a Greg.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. Yeah, well, okay. All right. I like where your headspace is at. Do you need me to take photos of myself? Do I need to be clothed?
Yes, and your preference.
Okay, well. Yeah. Well, a round of applause. Do we want me clothed or unclothed? Clothed?
Like one of the French girls.
Unclothed. There you go. I have all sorts of reference photos for you.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so they can buy them at auction. They can do that. You have a website. What's the easiest way for people to get your content if they want to get these guys?
RobShamberger.com. Also, WWE Shop, WWE Auction, at Rob Shamberger on the Twitter.
Well, then they're just going to hound you for Greg Miller paintings and Portillo paintings.
I hope they do.
All right. Well, Rob, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you to Laura, Rob, Nick, Brian, and you, my audience. If you want to be in that audience, go.ign.com/up@noon for details. As always, I'll be answering comments the first hour of this video is live, so come tell me your favorite moment from Infamous First Light. Mine, when they didn't eat any chowder. Like, seriously. The whole second son, it's canon that all she eats is chowder. This one, not goddamn one chowder date. There might have been one, but they didn't make enough big deal about it. Because even if... Anyways, I'll get back to it. That's Up at Noon. That's the show we do here. We put it up every Monday. Until next time, I'm going back to bed. DaveFenoy.com.